I was reading this week some 2.9 million cars the government said shouldn't have passed. Hey, this is Chris. Welcome back to show number 2, and we're here in the MOT Manager studio, our HQ, just up in the northwest of England. Hope you're well, and thank you for the feedback from the first of what's going to be many shows over the week, chatting to you about the industry, a real focus on the admin and marketing side of your business. My personal background has been working in marketing, and for over 10 years now, specifically with garages, and to be part of the team here at MOT Manager has been brilliant to see so many garages come on board, embrace new technology in the admin side and look really into making your brilliant garage even better. And technology, as I've just mentioned, has been so important in the last 18 months during the COVID pandemic. The need to get hold of customers quickly, the need for MOT reminders to be moved automatically because the exemption came in. So technology has been so important. We've seen a huge increase in garages coming to us and wanting to work together. And don't forget, you can book your free health check in. The details are on the screen. So whether you're an existing MOT Manager customer or you just fancy throwing some ideas around about what you'd like to achieve with your garage, you're more than welcome to get that health check, with the usual rule that there's nothing going to be sold to you, just purely getting deep down, in depth if you wish, into some of the systems that you have and looking how maybe you can change how you do your MOT reminders, how you can start looking at this busy vacuum that's going to come, where you're going to have lots of additional MOTs coming in as the, of course, exemptions were moved to later in the year. So we can talk about all those on your free health check. Interestingly as well, talking about the last 18 months, because it is so current as we start to slowly come out of many of the lockdown restrictions, was garages changing their business. I know lots of garage owners that now like to concentrate on the faster fit stuff. So this will be obviously concentrate on MOTs and predominantly the MOT repair work, but also looking at brakes, actually having specific campaigns and strategy to bring people in for brake checks. I was reading this week some 2.9 million cars the government said shouldn't have passed their MOT, and one of the most common things was an issue between the suspension and the brakes. And as I always say, I'm not a mechanic. I was just reading about this and work with lots of garage owners, but there's so many ways that you can bring in the type of work to your garage that you want. And like I say, if you want to change the face of your garage to make it into a more fast fit centre, then we can look at the types of strategy that you can put in place to bring that in. So today on the show, we've been talking about the fact that drivers could be driving around with cars that aren't safe, and not all of these will slip under the radar. Some 10,000 drivers were prosecuted for having cars that were not road safety. And this reminds me of a story of a garage we worked with in Scotland a couple of years ago, who came on board with MOT Manager and immediately ran data through his account and found a number of drivers that didn't have an MOT. They'd run out, and he immediately texted them. And one of them came into the garage and said, if my wife had been driving the car around and she'd have got pulled over by the police and we had an MOT, he said there would have been a big fallout. They did an MOT immediately. It cost quite a few pounds to pass the MOT, which was good business for the garage, and they had one very happy customer. So it's so important that with your customers, you do as much as you can to make sure that they're safe and legal. That means sending them out MOT reminders. And also, when they come into the garage, if you're using the MOT Manager software, it will bring up the current advisories by default on every job. You don't have to go looking for that info. We've talked about it previously. So it's so important that you have these small wins, not just because you're keeping your customer safe, but because it also brings in good work to the garage. Talking about the fast fit stuff slightly earlier. So we can talk on a health check about how you can automate so much of that and make it simple for you to identify any cars that come into your garage that either don't have an MOT or are driving around with things on the car that are now illegal. They might have had an MOT 3 or 4 months ago and they come into the garage for something else, and you need to check those tyres and check those brake pads that were advisories from a few months ago. I talk to this to garage owners every single day. We've got many garage owners that are doing that, and this is a great way, like I say, to keep your customers really happy. I can do any time of the day, whether you want to do that in the morning or later at the evening or throughout the day in your garage, that's absolutely fine. We can talk more about these ideas, look into detail at the admin parts of your business, and see how we could potentially work together.